got it.
Yay!
Perfect. So, Carli, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. As I said before, it is super cool. It is awesome to have you back here. I mean, it's definitely like the best timing because you're awesome, you're badass, what you do is amazing. So welcome back. It is so amazing to have you here. And what's new since our last chat? Like, what was it, like a month ago?
Yeah, I think so.
Ago? Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me back, first of all. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I've just been, hard at work and out exploring in the world and having fun, the usual.
I love it. That's the style. And like one of the cool things here that here and there when I was just checking like the wormhole of Instagram here and there, and then I saw like a couple of your posts here and there, and I was like, she's having fun, everything's cool, perfect.
Yes,
I love it. So let's talk about your podcast. So tell me about it, for those who don't know about your podcast, like explain us everything here, like what can we expect to hear on your podcast?
Yeah, totally. So it's called Your Hero's Quest, and it is all about the hero's journey. This is something that Joseph Campbell talks about. He's like a very famous, well-known mythologist and author and teacher, and he talks about in his book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, I have right here, that inspired this, the stages of the hero's journey, and this monomyth that kind of is encompassed in tales from all over the world. And I just was thinking, like, how can we apply this to our lives? We're all on a hero's journey. And yeah, so that was kind of that's what we'll be talking about on the podcast. Just what journey you're on, how you can be empowered to be the hero in your life and overcome obstacles and all of those kinds of things.
No, I loved it. And where the idea to create that came from?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking I've always wanted to do, for the past few months, maybe even a year, I've been thinking, like, what can I do to combine everything that I love? And I wanted to do a podcast or YouTube channel. And I love myths and legends and epic tales. Like, my library behind me is mostly those books, like the Grail legends and myths from all over the world, and Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. So I'm like, and on parallel to that, I also really deeply love self-development, and I read so many books on, just being the best you can be, manifestation, abundance, creating your reality, and getting rid of limiting beliefs. So I'm like, wait a second, maybe I can combine these two things. And that idea of and then reading this book, the idea of, wow, we're all on this hero's journey that is in all these books that I love, and we can be the hero too. And so that's kind of how that idea kind of came to be.
Okay. And what are some of the things that you enjoy the most, either when you're working on the podcast or like in general, when you're creating content?
I think as an actor and an artist, sometimes you end up waiting for an opportunity and your creativity can sort of dwindle down a little bit. So I love creating content because you get back in that driver's seat, and you get to be the one to be use your creativity and be putting out this things with your voice and what gifts you have. So it just becomes inspirational, and I hope always to bring value to other people. That's really the main inspiration behind it. But that's why I love creating content.
I love that. And also your content is really cool. I mean, you are basically doing a lot of epic stuff here and there, and you love it, and it's real, and it's unique. I mean, there's nothing but just cool stuff on what you do, because I mean, one of the cool things that I admire about you, and also about the people that I've interviewed also, is the fact that you're doing it because you love it, and you're basically taking a risk from exiting the typical routine, or like the same way millions of people take every day. And the fact that you guys are taking like a bet on you to create something on your own um, to to because you love it, that is
Yeah.
that is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what we all need to do. We really do need to get inspired to bet on ourselves all the time, because everyone has this unique voice and gifts that we, are meant to offer the world. So yeah, thank you.
Love it, love it. And what are some of the things that you enjoy the most when you are like on your podcast? Like, what is like the number one thing you love the most about your podcast at this moment?
I just love, I'm so passionate about like epic tales, like the stories of heroes that have come before us, whether it's myths or real heroes, or just, Frodo and Aragorn or Harry Potter, whoever it is. Like, I personally have found so much solace in their journeys and getting through obstacles in my own life. Seeing how those heroes kind of overcame any obstacle to get to their destination, their quest, like no matter what, they stayed on their quest. So I think just kind of bringing that to my podcast is, I don't know, I love it. I hope I can bring a love of mythology and stuff to other people.
Yeah. And let's say that I wanna create a podcast. Tell me, like, what do you think that are some of the tools that I might need, but also what can I expect once I release my first episode?
Well, you really don't need too much to begin. I think the number one thing you need is belief in yourself.
Yeah.
And in your idea. In terms of equipment, of course, you can get a microphone and a computer. that's the most basic, but you can of course use your phone if that's all you have, and just start. That I think that every journey begins one step, and it's really just like literally just starting and believing in your idea, putting it out there, staying consistent, and I think and then just publishing it, getting it out there on the platforms, and then cultivating your audience as you go is part of the journey. So I think once you get over that first, at least for me, I was like, okay, the first episode is out. Like, we can do this, Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is challenging when you release like your first couple of episodes, and at the same time, it is super exciting whenever you start to see some views on it. You're like, oh my god, that's so cool, and from one you have two, and then five, and you're like, oh, it's I love that feeling. So I do. Yeah. I can understand what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And just knowing people are receiving value from what you bet on yourself to put out, that's the best.
Yeah. And tell me, like what motivates you for you to create a new episode on your podcast?
I think again, it's just I have, over my past several years of my own sort of spiritual journey, it's been so many different podcasts that I've listened to that have given me like these aha moments, these epiphanies in my own life that have been huge growing points for me, that I've like gotten my journal out and been like, oh my gosh, that thing that person just said was like just literally light bulb changed my life. So if I could be that for someone, like that really lights me up. If what I have to say can really empower people on their journey and give them some sort of inspiration, that's really that keeps me going.
And my last question here is where we can check your episodes, but also when is coming the next episodes, and where can we hear it?
Yes, so it is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Again, it's Your Hero's Quest. And actually, episode 2 is being released tomorrow. So episode 1 is up, and episode 2 will be out on all of those 3 platforms tomorrow. So I would love for everyone to check it out, give it a listen. If you like it, give it a like, all the good things.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, links will be on the description, kind of that. I mean, I'm gonna put that on the episode later on YouTube and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm gonna make sure that the link for your podcast is here.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
Yeah,
it's all linked also on my Instagram, on a link tree, so easy to find. But yeah.
All of it. I mean, at the end, what can I say, Carli? I mean, as I told you the first time, I love what you do. I love your career. I love the fact that you are just creating it because you like it, And as simple as it may sound, I mean, we do know that sometimes even it can take a decades for you to finally realize what you want to do in life and the fact that you're doing it. And at the same time, you want to entertain people, give them like a reason to smile, give them like a reason to like get away from, especially right now during this whole crazy, horrible times that we are having. I mean, that we are being through with the pandemic and messes and a lot of bad stuff here and there. And the fact that you are putting like your light, so more people can approach and just enjoy a cool, epic content. That is cool. That is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think in these times, like, what we need now more than ever is like inspiration for each other and to step up and really go on that hero's journey in our own lives, because I think that's what will change the world for the better.
Absolutely. And hey, I mean, at the end of the day, keep killing it. Keep doing what you do. I mean, everybody loves it, and let's make sure everybody knows about your awesome podcast. So if you're watching this later on, thank you so much. If you are either watching it on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to go follow Carli right now. I mean, put pause and then let's make her viral. #Team Carli, because she's awesome. She's badass. She's really cool. And Carli, again, thank you so much for being back here and to talk about this awesome podcast. Trust me, that'll be one of the first to check on episode 2. You can count on that. And and before I send you off, you know what is coming. You know what is about to happen right now. So let me show you. I love it. At some point we're gonna have live audience, but in the meantime, again, thank you so much. Have an epic upcoming weekend. Keep doing what you do because it is awesome and it is amazing. And I'll see you in the next one.
Same to you on all of that. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good one, okay?
Bye, Dan.
Bye.